All right, so here we go, part 2, and we only have 3 problems left here, so this won't take too long. 16 is very similar to 15. The only difference is that your constant is a positive 28. All right, so let's go ahead and look at factors of 28. What times what will give you 28? Well, 1 times 28, 2 times 14, and then also we have 4 times 7. So we have 3 different pairs. Now, what are the possible values for k? Well, if I add these, 1 plus 28, the middle number would have to be 29. If I add 2 plus 14, that's 16. And if I add 4 plus 7, we get 11. Okay, now you're thinking, well, Mr. Cavell, if you do a positive times a positive, it gives you a positive. But what if these were both negative? What if it was -1 and -28? That would still multiply to 28. And you're absolutely right. So I could have -1 and -28, which means my middle term, my k, would be -29. Or we could have -2 and -14, which would give us -16. Or we could have -4 plus -7, which would give us -11. So all of these would be possible values for k. And if you don't believe me, if this is not making sense, let's say that the answer was, let's say it was 16, okay? So on the side here, we would have x squared plus the k value, 16x plus 28. And you would be factoring this. If I said go ahead and factor this, well, you would do the 28, and your combination would be 2 and 14, and you'd have x plus 2 times x plus 14. That would be your answer. So does this work where the middle term is 16? Yes, it does. All of these are going to work. We're basically working it backwards. All right, the last two here, number 17, number 18, it says simplify. You have a trinomial on top, and you have a binomial on the bottom. Now we're going to try to simplify, this is division, but because of this plus sign, because of the plus signs, we cannot start dividing stuff. I cannot do x squared divided by x, okay, because this is not just x, it's x plus 3. What we're going to do though, let's take the top and let's factor it. So let's take 15. We got 1 and 15. We've got 3 and 5. Now we're trying to get a middle term of 8. Well, 3 plus 5 gives you 8, so there's our winner right there. If I do it as a box, okay, if you're more comfortable with the box, we can do that. So what we have here is x squared, we have plus 15, and then the two middle squares, we have positive 3x, positive 5x, and then when we pull out the factors here, the top row, that's x, and then this is times x, this is x times 3, and this is x times 5. And what we get here is x plus 5 times x plus 3 divided by the x plus 3 in the bottom doesn't change. Now notice that what happens here is we have the same factor. So it's not just the x's that are the same, it's x plus 3 and x plus 3. If your factors are the same, because this is x plus 5, this is times, when it's multiplication, I'm allowed to reduce factors. So x plus 3 divided by x plus 3 is just 1. Like both of these would be 1. So what's left, x plus 5, that is the answer. All right, you can stop the video now. Go ahead and try 18 and see what you get. And then when you turn it back on, let's work the problem out and see if we agree. So this one here is simplify x squared minus x minus 6. So let's go ahead and factor the trinomial. So there's -6. Well, we've got possibilities 1 times 6, 2 times 3. And you know that to multiply to get a negative, one of these has to be a negative. And what we're trying to get in the middle here is a negative 1, negative 1x. Okay, so 1 and 6, that's not going to work. 2 and 3, this is going to be our winner. Now one of these is plus and one of these is minus. If the middle term is negative, this is negative 1, that means the bigger factor is negative. So it's positive 2 and negative 3. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. That's good. So what we get here, let me rewrite the fraction. So we have on the top, the factor pattern is x plus 2 times x minus 3. Now the denominator doesn't change, it's x plus 2. Now if you have the same factor in the top and the bottom, you can divide those, which gives you 1, so they cancel out. What's left? X minus 3. And that is the end of the notes for today.